all new price predictions for Monday coming in for this big earnings week as well. We're going to go over a lot of bigger names as Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, the Mag 7s, Apples, and so much more with the new analysts and levels that I'll be looking out for Monday, because the important part about these levels is that we have resistance, that we have smaller supports. If those areas are breaking besides earnings, then that's kind of signaling that, say we had a support right here on Nvidia and then Monday it starts to break it. That's showing us that we have to focus more on downside than upside, right? So that's what the levels kind of help with in that direction, because as long as we play in direction, we get the easier plays in, okay? But yeah. Let's start off with Nvidia. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for watching. Comment those stocks down below that you want in the next videos, and let's get into it. So we have a smaller support on Nvidia. I'll be watching out for Monday around 197.50 and resistance around 210. So if we break that resistance on Nvidia like Monday, Tuesday or so, then I'll be looking for Nvidia to actually trend up to more all-time highs above 212.50s and 215s and continue that strength up. I am still bullish on Nvidia as well. We haven't broken any critical supports for me to turn bearish. So that's what I'm looking out for. Nvidia. AMD is a little soft in here as well. If we clear all the levels off, AMD really has not moved in the past 5 trading days. We had a little pop up there, but that was all like pre-market. So during normal hours, it really didn't do much. So if you look at that day, this was all pre-market. It had a jump, a little push, and then if you look at open, no real push, came all the way down, stalled out, and then the next day stalled out, didn't do much. This day had some droppage here, but it's not moving out of a bigger range of these kind of 5 trading days. So for AMD, we have a smaller support around 248.10 and then a resistance around 264.40. So those will be the areas I'm watching out for AMD, but also be mindful, AMD has earnings on Tuesday. So 50-50 if I play AMD earnings or not. I'm not really an earnings player. I usually scalp every morning. So I look at AMD every morning to see if there's a potential scalp that I can make easy profit on within 10 minutes pretty quick, like I do here. Like Friday, we did Amazon calls, 24%. It only took about 10 minutes for that, right? This is freedom to me. It's consistent. Make sure you guys join the team, elite, yearly, and lifetime memberships. First thing in the description to get access to the Discord. That's when you see my swing trades, long trades, see me trade live as well. I scalp every morning, bonus learning videos, and also you get my crypto buys. Very, very low price for the value you get. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for AMD, but they have earnings on Tuesday, so that's going to be the biggest part. And then we have AVGO. AVGO ran up and hit all-time highs, so new levels on AVGO. I love AVGO long-term. 380.30 is resistance. Your smaller support that might break is around 368.05. You don't really have any strong supports in here on AVGO, but I love AVGO long term. Whenever the market gets bearish, hopefully AVGO can get back down to like the 260s or 270s. I think that might be a big potential longer term buy. So that's what I'm waiting for as well. You want to start building that cash position because the market really has not turned bearish in a while. So I think we're due for some pull down that could be coming soon. Just be mindful of that. But yeah, build a cash position. So that's what I'm looking at for AVGO. The only thing I'll do on AVGO that might be a play is if it comes and breaks that resistance on Monday or Tuesday. If it breaks that, then I'm looking for AVGO to continue to all-time highs and possibly even get up to like the 400 mark. Then also TSM. Take all the levels off of TSM. I love TSM long term as well. You have your first support around 298.35, and then we have resistance around 303.20. So it's a very tight range. We'll kind of see how AVGO wants to do. I don't really see any plays in here besides holding my long term shares, but I am looking for potential swings. But also be mindful, TSM has not moved since I would say around this area here, which is about October 6th. So pretty much all October, TSM has not moved out of this range. So it's not really directional, which means it might be harder to play than this range until like this. See how directional this was? This is easier to play TSM. Right now we're kind of in this phase, so we need TSM to kind of break out of it. This is how TSM moves. It stalls out for a while. Even down here it stalled out for a little bit and then it had the trajectory. Look, it stalled out right here for about 3 weeks and then it moves. So it usually stalls out and then moves, which has me thinking there's a bigger move coming on TSM, up or down, doesn't matter, but a bigger move is coming that could produce some easier plays And then if we go to SMCI, SMCI has support 49.95, resistance level $55. They do have earnings on Tuesday, same day as AMD. So we'll see how earnings does. I probably wouldn't play anything until earnings on SMCI, and then however earnings moves on Tuesday, then I'll update you guys on SMCI after the earnings move, which will probably be the big update video depending on how the earnings kind of move SMCI. But that's about it. I probably wouldn't do much before it. Cloudflare net had a pretty big day on Friday. Okay, Cloudflare is technically at all-time highs, so there's not much we could do with Cloudflare in this range. Smaller support 245.10. That's about it. Otherwise, shares are up. And option wise, I probably want to touch anything. They had earnings, they beat on EPS and revenue, so yeah, they're kind of up. There's nothing much I could do with Cloudflare as it's up that much. ARM, still watching that 176.65 area resistance on ARM. I really want that to break for more strength. That's probably when I'll start looking for like calls on the upside above the 180s. But they also have earnings on Wednesday, so we might not get that breakage until the earnings. And they have been moving. They moved pretty decently on their last earnings, so we'll see if they move again. There are a couple of earnings I'm watching out for this week, so that's ARM. Still kind of in that technology space. Also Trade Desk. I'm watching Trade Desk this week. They have earnings on Thursday. Still in that technology space, but I'm looking for a bigger reversal on Trade Desk. So we'll see how the earnings do. I probably will play earnings on Trade Desk. And then let's go to Tesla. Tesla support does have a new support on Tesla right around 445.65. And then you do have a bigger resistance up there around 477.75. And then you also have another resistance around 457.65. So a couple levels kind of watch out for on Tesla. I'm still looking for Tesla to break all-time highs up to the 500 mark. So still bullish on it. Kind of just being patient and waiting to load up calls on Tesla for that bigger push. Hopefully we get that push this week. Okay. If not, the key signals we won't get it is if we start breaking these first area of supports around that 445.65. We want to stay above that on Monday. That'll be like kind of like the crucial part. And then Apple levels, there's really nothing strong in here. I would say your bigger support on Apple is probably all the way down to about 260.65. And then there is no clear resistance on Apple just yet. So we need Monday to kind of move. I don't really see any bigger plays. I think Monday I might look for puts on Monday for Apple if the market is soft. So that's one play I'm looking out for scalping wise. But other than that, nothing too big on Apple. Meta had the earnings. They had big drops. Let's take all our levels off of Meta. Meta is starting to trend down some. Meta's going to be a good buy for long-term shares pretty soon. So that's something I'm watching, excited about that. That's why I say build a cash position so you're able to get in on these. 648 is around that support area you want to look out for in Meta. No bigger resistance. We have a smaller resistance that if Meta broke this, then I'll probably look for reversal calls on Meta. We already play reversal calls on Meta. We got calls down here, and then we sold our profit on that little push that Meta had. As you can see here, on 10:30, sold 40% of Meta call swings, 25% gain. I sold more, 30% of the swings for 42% gain, and then I sold the last Meta calls the next day on 10:31 for 7% gain. So we got about 24% gain off that Meta push. That's why I say make sure you guys join the team, because that was like a scalp, but it was also like a swing because we took the profits the next day. But we bought calls around the bottom of Meta that day that it dropped, right? We bought calls around here, around the bottom, and then we had that nice push where the contract went up over 40% very quickly. So I'm looking for a reversal like that again on Meta. Potentially if we break that 67480 area of a resistance, that would be crucial. Amazon is just up too high, so there's nothing much I could do at Amazon. I'll probably give Amazon a couple more days to move before I look to play anything on Amazon. There's just not much to do in that area. So Amazon for now, I kind of just wait on it. Google as well has support around 268.50, but there's nothing much bigger to do on Google. We have like a smaller resistance around 268.50. If we start to break that, we'll probably see Google back to all-time highs, and then that's when I'll probably play calls. But we got to break this area first to see that strength on Google. That'll be the most like crucial part. And then Netflix still a little slow. Nothing big on Netflix. Still kind of looking for more downside on Netflix, so nothing on there. Some of the health sides, HIM has earnings on Monday. So the biggest thing on HIMS is their earnings. So we'll see how their earnings move. After they move on earnings, we'll see if HIMS will set up for any potential buys or anything. Eli Lilly had their earnings. They are starting to break up. I'm looking for calls on Eli Lilly to break above the 900 mark. So that's a strength. Your next resistance around 893.60. And then also your new support on Eli Lilly is around 820. So watch out for that strength. strength to come in. UNH did break a support area, so your next support is around 339.25, and then for a smaller resistance is around 364.55. I'm looking for some bigger swings on UNH, but if we keep breaking these supports, then UNH might want to drop. So I would like for it to hold in this range, break resistance, and then that's when I'll probably be looking for calls on UNH. But I like UNH long term, looking to buy some more longer term shares if it drops, so that'll be a good thing. CVS, we have shares of it. They had earnings, pretty much chilling on that. DVA is dropping. It is below 120. That is a potential buy area for me that I was looking out for on DVA. It does have these decent pull downs, right? And it recovers pretty decently, has pull downs, decent recovers. So I want to average in on some shares. That's how I'm looking to play it. Say I don't get the bottom, but I want to average in on like this range right here, kind of just average in. And then if you average in, say your average goes to around 62, just for like example, 62, and then on the run up, you're doing over 100% just in shares. So just shares wise, say it drops from like 118 all the way down to $80, right? But if I average down, I would only be down half of that 32, which is right around like 16%. So right here, you go down 16%, so my average would be around 98.50. Then with that average of 98.50 back to all-time highs, it's over 80% just off shares. So that's how I'm looking to do DVA. Kind of wanted to explain a little bit and how I look for different type of stocks, have different type of plays, okay? But longer term, good trajectories. I think this one's starting for me to start buying it longer term, and I won't sell it until it goes back up to all-time highs, kind of holding through. It could take a year, 2 years, but it's a decent gain. I'd rather have my money in their building than somewhere else. So booyaka. Airlines, UAL, American Airlines, they're all kind of slow, nothing big on those. Banks are breaking their resistance areas. So watch JPM. Your next resistance is around 315.45. Your new support is also 296. So watch that. If we break resistance, I'm looking for JPM to go back to all-time highs, and now be potential calls on JPM. And then Bank of America is also showing strength. We're looking for Bank of America to actually go above like $55-ish, right? That's the all-time high back in 2006 that we haven't broken since, and we are getting close. So I'm looking to do that. That's a big movement in Bank of America. So looking for calls on Bank of America this week to see if we can break that level. We haven't broken all-time highs in Bank of America since 2006. And I think once it breaks, it actually might start to get some good strength. Like, look, this is a previous high back in 2006. We haven't broken that in a minute. Last time we broke a high, Bank of America had a nice like 22% run on shares before it had a bigger drop. So, and that was in like the 2008 bank crisis and all that stuff. So we've been just recovering slowly on Bank of America, but that's something big I'm looking out for on Bank of America. Your new support is also around 52.60. So watch out for that support area. But yeah, big moves probably on Bank of America this week. Gold, no bigger updates on gold. I'm gonna leave the levels at the same. Still looking for gold to come off this area at the bottom. Also silver, looking for silver to come off this area too. We do have a new support around 43.50 on silver, and then a smaller resistance around 44.55. So we want to break that smaller resistance Monday, and we also want to stay above the support for silver and gold to get strength. This could be buying opportunities right here. We're a little slow. We could go down, but decent buying opportunities for like longer term for price to continue going up. Bitcoin, I don't think there's any updates on Bitcoin. Yeah, pretty much same levels, pretty soft. Hood, same levels. Looking for, if Hood breaks that 150, 140 of resistance, they do have earnings on Wednesday though. I might be looking for calls, but I might just wait for the earnings. Coinbase still kind of high at that 340s, kind of stalled, no real movement of direction on Coinbase since like August, so nothing much we could do with the Coinbase front right now. But yeah, I'll keep the video right there, just some of the bigger names. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let's go over the SP 500 as well for new levels in the SP 500. We're going to put a resistance around 687.05, and then your support, which we might open below or so, is around 681.90. So those like kind of your areas on SP 500. You want to be watching this ETF every day. It will help you out a lot. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you guys join the team. First in the description, you get access to the Discord. And always remember, no recommendation of ours. So anything just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see or hear in the video. I will catch you guys on the next one.